It's been more than 2 years since Apple released the iPhone 13 Pro, and during this time this device has been a great companion to me. After Apple launched the iPhone 14, they discontinued the 13 Pro, but for the last year you could find it refurbished or even used in many markets. Now with the launch of iPhone 15 Pro, the prices of the 13 Pro have fallen and they are being sold around $650. In this video I am going to inform you about my experience with the 13 Pro and explain if it is still worth buying. When it comes to the build quality, the iPhone 13 Pro still looks and feels amazing. It is made of glass in front and back with a stainless steel frame that is very premium even in 2023. The front glass is reinforced with a ceramic shield for extra protection, while the back glass is matte and it is just as durable. In the first year of my usage, I used it with a case, but this last year I have been using it caseless and it doesn't even have a single scratch. For its size, the 13 Pro is a heavy device and I always feel that it was worth the money I paid for it. It is also IP68 water and dust resistant, but of course this feature is legitimate if the unit hasn't been opened. The 13 Pro has a 6.1-inch OLED display, and honestly, after trying the new iPhones with the dynamic island, it feels kind of outdated. This is only my take, but if you come from an older iPhone that has the wider notch or the old bezels, then the iPhone 13 Pro will look very modern to you. The display of the 13 Pro has ProMotion and everything feels very smooth. It is also very sharp and it gets bright outside, and although it doesn't match the newer iPhones, personally I never had any issues using it even in direct sunlight. The colors are extremely well balanced, and if the notch doesn't bother you, then this display is still great. My iPhone 13 Pro has received iOS 17 and it works flawlessly. Scrolling through the UI is very smooth and I haven't noticed any lag so far. If you buy the 13 Pro now, you are guaranteed to get at least 3 more years of updates, so it is still very future-proof. This device is powered by the Apple A15 Bionic chip, which is still extremely powerful. Apps are open very fast, and even with games I never had any problems. Despite the fact that it is a 2-year-old chip, the A15 Bionic is still very capable, and in day-to-day usage I don't notice the difference between it and the A17 Pro. The 13 Pro comes with 6 GB of RAM, and in my usage it has never reloaded an app while I kept them opened in the background. The base storage is 128 GB, but I bought the 256 GB model because I didn't want to deal with low storage issues. Now we shift our focus to the cameras, and here we have to talk a lot more compared to previous categories. Let's start with the front camera, where we have a 12-megapixel lens which in daylight takes great images. With faces, skin colors are accurate, but the dynamic range isn't the best since many times it blows the background. At night this camera decreases in quality quite a bit, and for me iPhones aren't the best for taking night selfies. On the back, the iPhone 13 Pro has 3 cameras and all of them are kept at 12 megapixels. The main lens during daylight takes outstanding pictures with great colors and dynamic range. Although images aren't as sharp as the ones taken with the new iPhone 15s, in my opinion they are good enough for all situations. The ultra-wide camera is also really good, but in some cases it overexposes the sky just like the front camera. It does also double as a macro camera for taking amazing close-up shots. The telephoto lens is at 3x optical zoom, and just like the other cameras it too takes great pictures with natural colors and excellent dynamic range. For the most part, even at night these cameras are well balanced and night shots are sharp with plenty of details. The telephoto camera is slightly weaker compared to the main and ultra-wide lenses, but honestly this isn't a big deal since even the iPhone 15 Pro has the same telephoto sensor as the 13 Pro. For video recording, iPhones have always been amazing and the 13 Pro is no different. This device can record videos at 4K at 60 FPS with all lenses and the results are just fantastic. Although 8K isn't available, the iPhone makes up for it by offering excellent videos at 4K. Another area where the 13 Pro's cameras shine is with portraits, since skin colors are accurate and edge detection is almost always on point thanks to the LiDAR scanner. Overall, the cameras of the iPhone 13 Pro are still really good, even though features like action mode or the high megapixel images aren't available. Another area where the iPhone 13 Pro shines is with audio. This device, just like many of its predecessors, has stereo speakers and sound quality from them is amazing. They are very loud, and even at the highest volume the audio comes clear. These speakers are also very balanced, in contrast to before where the bottom speaker was louder than the one found on the earpiece. The iPhone 13 series are known to be the best iPhones when it comes to battery life, and the iPhone 13 Pro is no different. When I first got this device, the battery lasted me all day and more. My unit, however, has been used for 2 years and the battery health has decreased to 90%. It still lasts me for the most part of the day, but obviously it isn't as good as in the beginning. If you plan to buy this phone, the first thing you should check is battery health, since if it is under 90% then the battery won't be that good. If you change the battery, or if the battery is healthy, then the 13 Pro will easily last you all day. Charging, on the other hand, isn't as fast, but with iPhones you kind of expect slow charging. MagSafe is also present, but it is even slower, and personally I barely use it. For security, the iPhone 13 Pro uses the good old Face ID, which works perfectly fine in daylight and at night. Considering all these facts, I believe that the iPhone 13 Pro is still worth buying and using it as a daily driver. If you have an older iPhone and don't want to switch to Android, then I think the 13 Pro offers a great value for money. For $650 or even less, the iPhone 13 Pro has a premium design, a bright display, a powerful chipset, and reliable cameras. If you already have the 13 Pro and are wondering if you should upgrade, then I say don't, because the differences aren't as noticeable unless you love technology and always want the newer phone. If you did enjoy this video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel.